Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fan. Jesus Christ, I was about to say, GH. Um, so, I'm still, okay, so, Clive is, like, a real piece of work. Now you have to then kind of remember that even though I've been watching this for a little bit, I still don't know a lot of backstory about all the characters and stuff like that. Like, Clive, at first when Ben was sitting there talking to, John, and John came in, John was worried about Marlena. He was like, have you seen Clive? And, Ben was sitting there covering for his dad. I felt like that wasn't a good idea. I understood why he did it, to protect his dad and stuff like that. But then when I found out that when Ben was a kid, that Clive used to, really, beat him, I was, let's just say, it was a couple of four-letter words that I was not using about Clive. And it made me even more mad because I was like, oh, no, hell no, you gotta turn him in. I didn't understand why he didn't. I still don't understand. I get that he didn't want to sit there and try to, I don't know, send his dad to prison or whatever. But, Clive was already gone. So, I didn't really understand what was the point of not telling John that he saw Clive. And, because John doesn't want him to be collateral damage, but he wants to find Marlena. So, I don't understand why he didn't tell John that he talked to his dad. Anyway, John does find Orpheus through Xander, and he has a gun pointed right at his face, and Orpheus is like, I don't know if that's a good idea, because if you kill me, let's just sit there and say somebody else may die. Now, not that long ago, he was sitting there telling, we find out about Orpheus' plan, which is to get his son out of some mental institution. I think Belle Reeves, I'm not too sure. Get him out, and, but that's pretty much about it. And, he tells his backstory about how his son was about to pretty much off himself while he was in jail, and being in a, I guess, not lockdown or whatever, but pretty much just being in jail, what he's going through, it didn't really help. And so he wants to sit there and set his son free or whatever to, I don't know what the rest of his plan is. But, he pretty much tells Marlena that I have somebody, not John, but somebody else that you may care about. And if you don't follow my plans, well, bad things are going to happen. So, because in the beginning he was like, yeah, I'm going to set you free now. And I was like, cool, so you kidnapped her so you can set her free. You're a lot smarter than that, so I'm pretty much wondering what is going on. But yeah, that's the plan. Roth pays Kayla a visit. Talk about some sort of, because he came there, he was sitting there talking about the chip and how it was damaged beyond repair, and he still needed her help with something, and he didn't say exactly what it was, but Kayla was kind of confused, and so was I, because I think we both were just like, but the chip is destroyed and his essence is gone, so how do you plan on getting this guy back? I don't understand. But, anyway, he needs Kayla to sit there and do it, so, yeah. And Steve is sitting there worried. He's called her a couple of times, and even when the power came back on, he's called, and he's like, yo, he was like, I'm done. Now, he talked to Trip for a little bit, and yeah, he did have a conversation with Kayla about the whole test and the DNA thing, and then he was like, I hope, going behind Trip's back was worth it. And then Trip walks in, and I just, here's the thing about Trip and this whole, him not wanting to do the DNA test. And I understood what somebody was saying at the bottom of the comment section about how, it could be him, it could be his brother, and the DNA test may not be able to you need more additional testing to tell the difference between him and, let's say, his siblings or whatever. But I just didn't like the fact that he was just like, hell no. Just, like, that was his reaction. And when he was sitting there talking to Steve, he said, he was like, he was like, at the time, he was like, I probably should have just done it, but at the time I was so angry that I know I didn't do it, so what was the point of me getting a DNA test? And I was just like, you're not getting it. That's the thing that just bothered me. It wasn't that he was upset about it. His first reaction was just like, no, I'm not doing it. And it's like when you do that, it draws conclusions in a lot of people's minds like, well, what are you hiding? Anyway, Steve goes to look for, he makes him lie about his son. He makes him lie, talking about, what he was really on the phone talking about. And then he goes to the hospital, and of course he just sees the phone and a purse, and he knows that there's something up. Now Clive pays a visit to Nicole's place and sees Allie there. And he makes up some sort of bogus story about how he's with the power company or whatever, and he's checking circuit breakers and stuff, and one thing leads to another. And then he walks out, but before he does that, he makes a distraction, saying that he saw a candle like in the bathroom or whatever, and he wants to make sure that the house doesn't go up in flames. So the thing that, and I know this is probably going to come off sound like a dick a little bit, but I feel like I need to say it anyway. So when she opened the door, she kind of had misgivings about this guy. Yeah, he looked like he was from the power company or whatever, but like he was talking about generators and stuff like that, and fixing the power, and she was just like, well, how is you checking on a circuit breaker gonna fix the power? Like, it's out in the whole town. This makes no sense. But she let him in. And okay, whatever. F it. She lets him in, and then he comes in, and she gets distracted by what he says about going to check to make sure the whole house doesn't go up in flames, and she leaves her son unattended. And of course, when she comes back and she's talking to Nicole, she goes to check on Henry, and of course, at this point, I already knew Henry was gone. Because now she's freaking out. You got Clive sitting there at the bench or whatever, at some park or whatever, just holding the baby. And I'm just like, so let me just get this straight. Just to add to your I should tell you if I was trying to make a joke, but it just was not going to work out. Just to add on to the piece of work that this guy is. Not only was he sitting there beating his own child when, Ben was little, but now he's upped this game to kidnapping babies. Wow. And I don't know. I look at that situation and part of me is like, why would you just leave your child unattended with this total stranger that you just don't know? And I get that he's from the power company, but the fact that she had misgivings about just letting this guy in her place, and letting her in Nicole's place in the first place, even though that he was dressed like he worked for the power company, but yet you go in another room and leave your child unattended. But then I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? 1 second. I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? I mean, no one's perfect. Accidents do happen. And it's not like she would have saw something like that coming. So I'm kind of like, let me just pause it for 1 second. Make sure I got everything. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually about it. I just want to sit there and double check to make sure I didn't forget anything, and if I did forget something, I apologize. But I don't think I really forgot anything. I'm just wondering, what is Roth's plan for Kayla? And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like Kayla was kind of being somewhat dumb in this episode. Like, you know, this guy has a gun, or this guy has a gun, and he's like, you're gonna come with me, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. The dude got a gun. I don't understand, like, what. And then there was one point where he held the gun to her, and she kept looking at her phone like she was about to, like, answer it, and I'm just like, it's not like your phone is not in plain sight. He can see you. Why do you still, like, trying to reach for your phone when this guy has a gun pointed at you? I just, I didn't understand that. I know it was, and it wasn't even minor. I can't even sit there and say it was minor. It was just like, no, this is just dumb. But with that being said, I think that's pretty much about it. So let me know what you think of this episode. Was it, did you like it? Did you not like it? I didn't really feel like I had that much in it. To some extent, it was more about Marlena, Roth, and Marlena and Orpheus, and then Roth and Kayla, more than anything else, and a little bit of Clive too. But I felt like besides the 2 kidnappings and stuff like that, not a lot happened. Actually, the 3 kidnappings. Kayla, the baby, and at one point, Marlena. Yeah, so that's about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, and I will catch you in tomorrow's episode. Review. Yeah, it's been a long day.